Kim here, and I'm back with another video. So today we are building the Bienvenidos Resort, and this is in the new world of Selvadorada. I wanted to do a resort because I feel like when you kind of venture out to a new or kind of exotic place, there's always like a resort where your Sims can be immersed with the kind of like the natural landscape and the natural culture and things like that, but the environment is familiar and hospitable enough to the environment that they're normally at, if that makes sense. So I wanted some place where they are close enough to the jungle to really get the most out of their experience, whether it's the culture or the vegetation, the different animals, and just the climate in general. But it's still a place where they can get pampered and have a little taste of luxury while they are on their vacation. So yeah, here it is. This is part 1 of 2. With this part, I mainly focus on the structure and laying out some of those foundational elements like wallpaper and floor tiles, and laying out the pool and things like that. Just really working on the structure. And on part 2, the main focus will be the furniture and just really defining spaces a little bit more. So yeah, this is technically categorized as a restaurant. I wish that we could do resorts. I remember with the Sims 3 Isla Paradiso, I think that was my favorite expansion pack because you had the ability to own restaurants and really manage your business. And I just felt like that was absolutely great, and it was amazing, and it just really gave you a whole nother aspect of the game that you didn't really get in the other packs. But since we don't have hotels and resorts in The Sims 4, I opted for a restaurant simply because of staff. I like being able to have people that are there specifically to make sure that your Sims are comfortable and to really bring that extra touch of realism to the game. So yeah, I had so much fun building this. Right now we are just kind of establishing the pillars on the main floor, and this area that we're working on right now will be the bulk of the restaurant, where your Sims will be able to do outdoor dining underneath the stars if it's at nighttime, or underneath the kind of lattice fencing that I do a little bit later on, and just really immerse themselves in the jungle environment. There's also a pool back here, and there is kind of like a standalone villa, like a VIP villa, if you will. Although you can't vacation on this lot, it's nice to kind of maybe rent a cheaper lot, or bulldoze a lot if that's something you want to do, and just leave it blank so the rent will be cheaper. And there will be beds and things like that here, so your Sim can actually stay here and vacation here if you want to, but this won't be a default choice for them to go on their vacation to Selvadorada. So just throwing out that disclaimer. If you have the door locking mod, you can get a little bit more function out of it as a hotel, because you'll be able to go in your room and actually lock it on a community lot. But other than that, we can just pretend. This is that lattice fencing that I was telling you about, and I think it came out so beautifully. I'm going to change it to a lighter brown because I just felt like it was blending in a bit too much to the wood flooring below it, and I really needed to see what was what so I can get rid of the floor tiles that was created once I completely joined a fence. But yeah, I really love the diagonals and the triangles. It kind of looks like something like tribal almost. I'm not exactly sure what, but I love the effect that it gives. Initially I wanted there to be like a lot of outdoor windows, like a lot of the windows that came with the Jungle Adventure Pack. I really enjoy them because a lot of them don't have glass panes in them, and you really can bring the outdoors indoors. But I figure since this is more of a resort, like they may have AC going, or you might not want the bugs and whatever else from the environment to get inside while you're trying to have a nice luxury resort stay. So I opted for the large windows that came with City Living. So yeah, here I am building the pool in the back. What I did, I just got a couple of those octagon shaped pools, and I just randomly placed them, and then I connect them with kind of like the free building tool. The free building pool tool. Wow, that was a tongue twister. And I just linked them all together. And yeah, in this space right here, I'm just creating the little VIP villa, if you will. The shape is a little awkward. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it at this point. But you will see what I do with it in part 2. So how are you guys doing today? I'm doing okay. I've been feeling really sick since this weekend. Is currently Tuesday, and I got the Jungle Adventure Pack last Tuesday. Now I wanted to start this last week, but I was just so busy with work, and we're currently doing a training, so days are long, and I just get home and I'm absolutely exhausted. So the plan was to do this over the weekend, but you guys, I have been feeling so icky and so sick, and I just really wanted to get this video out to you guys. I wanted this to be one build, but the way I've been feeling, it's a miracle that I've gotten to this point. And I just decided that the quality will overall be better if I broke it into 2 parts instead of trying to force everything to one when I'm not feeling my best to build. So yeah, I had a little bit of trouble kind of deciding what door, since this is on like a diagonal, things just get kind of weird in The Sims when you build on angles and diagonals. So I just try to do the best that I can with what I got. I just didn't want this little villa area to be super duper cookie cutter. I wanted it to be different, and I want it to be, I don't know, just kind of a awkward shape, if that makes sense. I just feel like it adds a little bit more character, especially while you're on vacation, because this isn't something that you would normally see while you are at home. So yeah, I've been really enjoying the build and buy items from the Jungle Adventure Pack, specifically the sink that kind of has like the glass bowl that's on top of the like little tabletop. I think that is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm really loving the new pool colors that we've got. I believe we've gotten 2 more, and I also like those wooden stair railing and fencing that we've got, and I am really enjoying all of the trees and vegetation that we've got, specifically the really tall palm tree with the greenery going up the bottom, and the shorter palm trees. They're really nice. They're really nice indeed. So yeah, here I am just kind of going to the front, adding some stairs, just giving us a way to actually enter into the resort, because I added a foundation. And initially I wanted to do like a sunken dining area, but I really wanted that separation between the pool and the dining, and I didn't want to have to put the pool underground, because we all know when we're using basements in The Sims 4, it's just like this dark black background, and it really makes, I don't know if this is just me, but it makes it feel a little bit claustrophobic when I'm in basements sometimes, because it's just, I don't know, the walls feel shorter, and it's dark, and yeah, I just really didn't want to have to deal with the basement in this build. Here I am just adding in a couple of water jets, and I really love the effect that it gives. Like as you're walking up, it just feels luxurious, and it feels, I don't know, it feels kind of relaxing. I really enjoy this front view so far. Some of the amenities that will be in here, like I said, technically it's a restaurant, so we will definitely have the restaurant and the dining piece, but there is also a gym and a spa, and of course a couple of rooms. I love making big builds. I love big builds. I love you know, having the freedom to just move around and to create. However, in The Sims, the more that you have in your save game or just in your lots in general, the slower the game runs. So I really had to pull back and limit how many rooms that I did, especially since your sim can't technically vacation here. You know, why kind of waste the memory on making all these rooms when they really won't be as usable as the restaurant area, if that makes sense. So you get the idea. I think in total there's about probably like 7 rooms, 3 on each side, and then like the private villa. But I'm pretty sure your Sims will just go in there and do whatever, even if they're not trying to sleep. So yeah, I really wanted kind of like this castle feel, like just like a palace. I don't know, I feel like it adds a little bit more of the kind of luxury aspect, and it makes it look a little bit more I don't want to say regal, but something along those lines. And I feel like the world itself is absolutely gorgeous, like especially like the sunsets and the sunrises and the different colors in the sky and the different vegetation and trees and things like that. It's gorgeous. And with this resort, I wanted it to kind of stand out, but not stand out too much, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know. I keep saying I don't know. When I do know, I just feel like I'm over explaining myself, so I do apologize for that. But I just wanted it to be different, but not so different where it feels completely out of place, if that makes sense. So yeah, in this back corner, with like the doors, with the tiny windows, like the really thin windows, will be the spa, and the area with like the more square windows will be the gym. Both of those doors and windows came with the spa day pack. And here I am just adding in a couple of stairwells so we can get to our upper level. I wish we were able to add elevators to other places besides penthouses. It's so annoying that, you know, you always have to use the stairs, but hey, it is what it is. And in these areas on either side, I just kind of make small rooms. Like I said, you can't vacation here, so I didn't want to make the rooms too elaborate, but I did want to give off the idea that people could stay here and this will be a nice place to spend your vacation. I also love those hanging lights that I'm placing in right now. They came with the Jungle Adventure Stuff Pack, and they are absolutely gorgeous. I feel like when it's dark, it's just so amazing, and it just adds a little bit of extra kind of ambiance and a little bit of romanticism in the area, you know, kind of like dinners and things like that. So I really enjoy those, and I made sure that each room had kind of like a small patio area, just so your Sims can kind of relax and get some fresh air without necessarily leaving their room. I was going to make 3 more rooms on the right side on the first floor, but I decided to use that area as kind of like a business center, and there's also going to be like a reception hall, and then in the second part I am going to put like the chef's kitchen downstairs in the basement. At this point I still haven't worked out how we're gonna get upstairs, but I do have an idea. Of how we're gonna get that done, so you'll just have to tune in and see. So yeah, I also wanted to make sure that I had several places where your Sims can go to the bathroom outside of the bedrooms. So I put a bathroom area behind these 2 sets of stairs, and there's also a bathroom on the other side by the spa. This is going to be our business center here. I do expand it just quite a bit, just so I can get a couple of desks and computers in there, and I'm rearranging the door so I can expand kind of like the banquet hall or the reception hall or whatever you want to call it. Ideally this area will be for Sims that are like having a conference, or if you could get married on vacation, they will have like their reception in there, and there'll be you know, just dancing and fellowship and things like that. Just a nice little area for your Sims to, you know, just have a good old time. I love those doors that came with the Jungle Adventure Pack. It's the wooden doors with kind of like the thick wood frame above it. I use that in the color swatch blue, and I just feel like it's very lively, and it's very, I feel like it really, what's the word I'm looking for, I feel like it embodies what this world kind of represents, which is like rich culture and, you know, just really being immersed in nature and just the beauty of it all. I believe that little fountain also came with the Jungle Adventure Pack, and I love the different swatches that it came with, and I just feel like this is going to be a nice little feature piece for when you're out by the pool or out having a couple drinks, or, you know, after you dine, you know, you and your party or your significant other can just go over here and chill, and it just be a nice little time indeed. I wish we had round pools, man. I mean, even though I'm not hating on this shape at all, I wish we had round pools. That's something I definitely miss from the Sims 3. And I feel like if we can have rounded foundation and rounded floors, then why can't we have rounded pools? Like, I don't understand, but again, I'm not a game developer, so I'm not sure about what all goes into it, but it would be nice if we can have some round pools again. Here I am just kind of adding windows to the business center, and you know, just going around checking things. And I think at this point I start to add wallpaper, and I go with a nice yellow. Yellow was definitely not my first choice. However, when I started to look at it as a whole, I really felt like the warmness and the sense of community from the yellow. And I just feel like it's enough of a contrast from the green, but not too much contrast, because yellow and green are in the same family, and also yellow can be linked to the brown. So it feels like a contrast, but it doesn't feel like an unnatural contrast, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't feel forced. And I paired the yellow with kind of like a stone type of texture that came with the bowling stuff pack, and I just feel like it goes together quite nice indeed. And yeah, on the bottom floor, or the main floor, I used the wallpaper with like the bottom portion that's like divided into the squares, and then on the middle floor I use the same color swatch, but it's just plain except for the brown border on the top and the bottom. And then I repeat the wallpaper from the main floor, or the first floor, to the top level where it's just the half walls. This top area won't be accessible. It's definitely just for looks, but I like the way it looks. Like I said, it just kind of makes it feel a little bit more regal, but kind of in like the in the corny sense of regal. Like, it just looks like very Playhouse Palace, but I feel like that's how a lot of resorts are, and I would love to stay in this resort. I am definitely here for it. Yeah, here I am. I'm adding in that fireplace that came with the Jungle Adventure Pack, and I really love it. And I love the fact that you don't necessarily have to have it on the wall in order for it to be usable, so that's definitely great. And I just love kind of like the warmth. Like, I really wanted to convey warmth and family and community and just rich culture, because I feel like besides just the whole jungle adventure aspect of this pack, you know, with adventuring and doing the archaeological work, I feel like culture and embracing other cultures that you may not have done otherwise is definitely an underlying point of this pack. And I just wanted to embody that with this build, without it being too cheesy, if that makes sense. So I wanted to kind of convey the essence without being too literal or too stereotypical about, you know, what's considered to be Latin or what's considered to be this or that other third. So I just hope you guys enjoy this build just as much as I do. And now I'm adding in some of this wall ivy that came with the Jungle Adventure pack. I love, love, love it. I feel like it really kind of wraps, it combines, you know, what's nature and what's manufactured. And I just feel like those binds do it so lovely, and it just does it so well. I usually never use those jumping boards. I don't even know what it's called, but the thing that the sim kind of climbs up and jump off of, I never usually use them. But I felt like this one was perfect because of the stone texture, and that came with the get together pack, and I really enjoy it. Here I am, like I said, I love all of the greens and the trees and the bushes and the whatevers that came with the pack. I just feel like they're so dense and they're so rich, and even though they have like a different type of green on it, like the green just feels richer, and it feels, I don't know, it just feels so authentic and indigenous to kind of like jungle rainforesty area. So I just love, love, love them. And here I am just kind of adding them around the pool area, just making sure that they all look like they belong. I do mix in items from Jungle Adventure with the items from base game, even though I know there are kind of two colorways. I just feel like they all come together very well. So yeah, like I said, this is part 1 and I really enjoy it. Make sure you stay tuned for part 2. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, feel free to follow me on my social media, Instagram and Twitter, and let me know what you'd like to see next. And I will talk to you guys in part 2. All right, bye guys.